Carla, the Crazy Cross Stitch Lady. Welcome to my cluttered craft room. It is an absolute mess in here right now. So welcome, welcome. Thank you for knocking on the door and wanting to come in and visit with me today. For those people who are new, or maybe you just saw Crazy Cross Stitch Lady and thought, I want to check her out. Thank you for clicking that play button, and I hope that you like what you see today. I hope that you want to come join our community here. Thank you to all of my current subscribers and those who have just recently joined. I'm always happy to have a larger community and for all of us to share this wonderful craft of cross stitching. So I have my alma mater on here, which is WKU, which is our Western Kentucky University Hilltoppers. And everybody likes to tease because our mascot is he's a red blob. We call him Big Red. My husband likes to call him Grimace from Ronald McDonald, that purple blob. He is a second cousin to him. So anyway, I'm proud of my alma mater, so I'm wearing my shirt this afternoon. Changed out of my church clothes and got into this. So if you are new and you haven't really watched any of my videos yet, I am a public school teacher in the middle of Kentucky, like right smack in the middle of the state. So we're in central Kentucky, and I have been teaching now. This is my 30th year of teaching, and I'm getting very close to retirement, and I'm getting so excited, and that's why I'm buying all this cross stitch stuff, because it's retirement planning. So that's how I look at it. All right, so I have a little bit of a life update. So if you're not really interested in the life update, then I always leave timestamps down at the bottom for the regular floss tubes, and so you can just skip to like where I do my shout out or where I start with the projects, and you can just go from there. I typically like to alternate between a regular floss tube and a tutorial. So I go back and forth. So this is a regular floss tube, and I do have some tutorials lined up because I've had some requests, and so I'll talk about that here just a minute as I get into the shout out. So if you want to go to that portion, you can click on the timestamp for the shout out, and you can go ahead and jump into the cross stitch. Now, if you would like to stick around for the life update, here we go. Not a lot of major things going on, just some regular stuff, but it feels like it's been really hectic. When my dad went into the hospital, and this was back in December of 23. Yeah, December of 23. He went into the hospital. He was sick with RSV at the beginning, and then they found that he had an intestinal bleed, and that was getting way out of control. So during that time, he was not able to take my mother out to eat. Friday night was their date night, and so he would take her out to eat each Friday. And so he wanted me to do that for her, because at the time she had stopped driving and she hadn't driven for several years. And so that was just his way of treating her and taking her out and that kind of thing. So he wanted me to do that. And I started to do that. And if you're not familiar with the story, if you're new here, my dad did pass away the latter part of January of 24. They did their best. They tried very hard, and my husband's a doctor. And so he said that they took very good care of Dad, and they did everything they could, but sometimes it's just simply too much. And Dad had just been through too much, and his body just couldn't take it anymore. He was 76. So I was hoping at least he could make it to 80, but I knew he wasn't well, but I didn't realize just how sick he was. I don't know that he realized. He may have known a little bit more than we did, but I don't think any of us realized just how sick he had gotten. So anyway, that happened, and I have been taking Mom out to eat on Fridays ever since. And so that's been our thing. So I've been trying to hit some new restaurants each time, and You know, she never got out past our hometown very much because, of course, she wasn't driving. She has since started to drive again, and she's doing very well, but she sticks around to our hometown. So I will bring her over here where we are and introduce her to new restaurants, and she really enjoys that. So we enjoy our time together. So we had that going on, which that's the usual for me, but I also do my grocery shopping. Thursday night is like my grocery shopping night, and that makes for a long day, but it also helps free up my weekend a little bit. So I'm okay with that. But just a lot of hecticness and busyness. And so I feel like with these videos, it seems like every 3 weeks is a pretty good pace for me right now to put out videos. And other people I know do it weekly, or they do it every 2 weeks. You know, there's no written rule for that. But I do just want to be, at least if I'm not doing it really often, to at least be consistent with it. So about every 3 weeks seems to be a good pace for where I am in this season of my life. So hopefully, I'm hoping, right now my plan is to retire, and get this, it's going to be Halloween, so October 31st of 28. And you may be thinking, okay, so the American school year, excuse me, runs from typically some point in August. Some start later than others. Some even start into September. And it goes through the end of May, and certain areas go into June. Just depends on where you live. And so you're thinking, okay, October. Well, my birthday is October 6th. And I actually had a 50th birthday cross-stitch piece that I was working on that when I fully finish it, I will show that to you. And so I modified it where I had my birthday on there. Well, with our retirement system, the way it's set up, you need to teach until the end of the month. So even though my birthday's at the beginning and 55 is the magic number now, to retire with full benefits. I could retire at any time that I want now, but I would not receive full benefits. And the pension, the pay gets upped quite a bit if you wait until you're 55. So that's what I'm trying to do. And so even though I'll be 55 at the beginning of the month, I have to work until the end of the month to make sure everything's all hunky-dory in pension world. So that's what I'm going to, and it happens to be Halloween, and it falls on a weekday, so it's going to be Halloween as my last day of work. So I don't know if that tells us anything or what. But yeah, we'll see. That may be a crazy day for me to retire, but I may also be like, yeah, don't have to do this anymore. So it's all good. So anyway, I'm already at 8 minutes with introductions and all of this. So let's go ahead and jump into the shout out and all of that good stuff, because I've already used up some of your time, but hopefully you're using this, listening while you're stitching, and it doesn't really matter. I don't care how long other people's videos go. I put on my makeup and stitch and all of that. So let's start with the shout out. So the shout out actually goes along with the October month coming up, and we've got Halloween and my birthday and all of that coming up. I found this floss tuber not too long ago. I've been watching his videos. He doesn't have very many out. I think he's got 3 out now, but the name of the FlossTube channel is Cross Stitch and Cambria, and I will put that on the screen. And the guy's name is Joshua. He lives in Illinois. I think he's around the Chicago area. And his goal is to let everybody know that guys do stitch too. He's got a wife and he's got a little girl. And forgive me, Joshua, because I can't remember if he's got 1 or 2 kids. But you can correct me in the comments if you want. So I don't remember. But I'm not going to explain why his channel is called Cross Stitch and Cambria. You will have to listen to that story yourself. It's his story to tell, so I will let him tell it. But he is a wonderful storyteller. He doesn't show a lot of pieces on his channel, but with each piece, he has this wonderful backstory that he tells about it, and then he shows you the piece, and it just gives it so much meaning. And I feel like I'm just sitting across the kitchen table listening to my friend talk about his happenings. So he wants to show that, yes, men can stitch too, which I'm just all on board with, and that there are many other things to stitch besides samplers and some of the normal fare that a lot of us stitch. I stitch a lot of that too, but he has some more goth stuff that he stitches, and some of us stitch some of that stuff too, but I don't tend to see a lot of that on the channels. But I've always been interested in it, and I actually did purchase some goth patterns, and I've started on one, which I'll explain here in a few minutes. But I just wanted to shout him out and hope that you will go check out his channel, give him some love and attention. And I think even if that normally, like the darker stuff wouldn't be your thing, he has done such beautiful work. I mean, it's gorgeous. And he just got some pieces back from the fair where he's gotten some ribbons. So it's very interesting. So think outside the box a little bit. If that's not normally your thing, if you're more of like a sampler person or someone like that, go ahead and give it a try, check it out, see what you think. My channels are so varied, like even the floss tubers are so different from each other, which I like the variety. So check them out, and I think you will like what you see. Okay, so let me start with things that either I have been given or I have purchased. I haven't gotten a lot. I've been pulling a lot from stash lately, but I decided to try, and I always forget to bring my board out. So I use my board in the living room all the time, and then I forget to bring it out. But let me see if I can at least hold up paper here. Okay, so I bought these needles. These are the pony black needles, and I have seen those before, and I've heard people mention them. And I thought, I've been wanting to try some different needles just to see, and I haven't tried them yet, so I don't have a verdict on them. But these are a size 26, but 123 Stitch has several different kinds of needles. I also bought some Peacemakers, which I've shown you before. I love those things. So we'll see if I like the pony black, and I will give you an update once I have tried them out. And they're pony black because they are a dark needle, but we will see how that goes. These are made in, let's see, does it say? Usually you can tell. Oh, it's made in India. So these are made in India. Okay. The other one I wanted to show you, I'm going to see if I can find, let me pause this and see if I can find something else as a backdrop. All right, I'm back. This is the little board that I use. This is the 7-inch board. This is from Lori Holt did these. So this is the design board, normally used for quilting, but I use it for my cross stitch. And so I will show things using my board. Okay. So anyway, speaking of Lori Holt, these are her needles. I didn't even know she had needles out. Of course, she comes out with new products all the time. But these are size 26, and I have tried her 24s, and I like them a lot. They just glide through the fabric. I've never seen anything like it, but this is what the package looks like. These are the 26 size. And so I got, let's see, I got 24, 26, and 28. Yeah. So they are a little more expensive, like $1 more, like $3 and something for one pack, whereas some of the other needles are maybe $2 something, but they're really nice. I do like them, and so I was very pleased when I got them. Okay, so there's that. Excuse me. I got over my congestion. I took medicine for that. And now I've got something else going on with my nose. So I'm going to the doctor tomorrow. So yeah, the medical stuff needs to stop. It's like never ending. So also, besides my birthday's on the 6th. Well, my wedding anniversary is September 30th. And that will be this coming Tuesday. So hubby and I will have been married 19 years. So yay for us. But I think one of the things he wanted to get me did not come in yet. And so he got me kind of a, well, here's your not consolation prize, but here's another little thing. So he got me a pack. I've been wanting some more finishing fabric. And so I got this, and it has several different colors in it, which is awesome. So you can take these also and turn them sideways when you are putting them on the backs of pieces and sticky board, all that good stuff. So I got that. And this has nothing to do with cross stitch, but everything to do with cows. And if you're new here, you're going to learn very quickly. We love cows around here. Cows are awesome. So this says, I choose to live by choice, not by chance, to be motivated, not manipulated, to be useful, not used, to make changes, not excuses, to excel, not compete. I choose self-esteem, not self-pity. I choose to listen to my inner voice, not to the random opinions of others. I choose to be me. And I just thought that was so cute. We got a little Highland here. I love the Highlands. They're so cute. So he got that for me. So I'm going to put this up in my craft room. Okay, now finding a spot for all this stuff is another challenge. Okay, so one of the designers that Joshua over at Cross Stitch in Cambria, he loves the Witchy Stitcher. And there are some other designers in there who do the darker stuff too, but I decided to check her out. She's from Canada. And so she has some free patterns on here. So I liked this one. This is called Safe Space. And so I got that off of her site. So I will stitch that up at some point. And then I definitely want to stitch this one up. I haven't figured out, I need to look through my fabric stash and see if I have anything that is going to be large enough and appropriate for this. But this one is a Graveyard Wander. And I kept going back to this. So I'm like, I have to get it. Because it's very Halloween-y. I like it. I like it very much. Like it mucho. All right, now there's another one of hers that I'm doing for, it's going to be a start, two of them actually for starts. So I'm going to wait on those for a bit. I'm just doing newer stuff here right now. I also decided to do from Quaint Rose Needle Arts. I just kept going back to this pattern and looking at it, just kept going back. I'm like, just get it. Remember, for retirement planning. So this is Roxie Rabbit. And I love that rabbit so much. I love, 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 love that rabbit. That is a great rabbit. She's so cute. So I will have to stitch her at some point. Mwah, she's cute. And then this one, I think it's going to be all about Canada today. Well, mostly anyway. I love the Canadians. I am an Anglophile, but I think now I'm also a Canadaphile. And I think that's the correct term for that. So this is Tiny Modernist, which is Cheryl McKinnon, another Canadian. This is Mouse's Snow Day, and I got this because I like her mouse patterns, but this one has a goose on it, and we have geese who come to our lake each summer, and so I thought I just need to get this and have it, and I'm going to start stitching on it at some point, maybe while I'm watching my geese. And then this last one is also Tiny Modernist. This is Llama Berry Farm. You get 3 patterns with this one. But let's see, let me give you a close up. So here's the first one. And then here's the second one. And I love the face of the llama. And then here's the third one. I mean, I just can't. I just I love it. I love the face on the llama here and this one. See the face? So cute. Oh my goodness. You could stitch all three of those together in like one big thing too. So all kinds of possibilities. Now, again, cows. So I didn't get this out. Let me get this out. So I collect needle minders. Now, if you're new, you do not have to have needle minders. Needle minders are just fancy magnets. You can buy like the plain magnets, and that will hold your needle in place just fine. But I like to collect, like you can see right here. That's my board with my needle minders on it. And that's not all of them because some of them are being used right now. But this is from My Big Toe. And this is called the Blue Moon Needle Minder. All right, use the board here. All right. Check it out. Got my moo-moo here. My cow. I love my cow. Isn't she cute? She's so pretty. I love it. So I got that. And then, because next year, and some people were saying this year, and I'm like, okay, your math is not mathing. So next year, 2026, is the 250th anniversary of America, the United States, which is really in a big mess right now, but we hopefully will pull out of this at some point. But yeah, we're just being fussy brothers and sisters right now, and that's as much as I'm going to say. But I decided to buy another one of these little needle minders. It's similar to the cow one, but this one's really pretty because it's got the flag on here and it's got flowers, and I also got a thread keep to go with it because I'm doing the Founding of America from Twin Peaks Primitives, which I showed on my last FlossTube. I'll show it again, but I plan on my phone's bouncing. I plan on making it one of my focus pieces where I'll be touching that a lot more often during 2026. So here is the needle minder that I will use with it. I thought that was pretty. And then here is the thread keep, which I normally don't buy thread keeps, but I do like that one. I usually just use like a 2-inch ring for binders, but I liked this. I mean, you could buy a keychain, do the same thing, but I did like that, so I decided to get it. So I got that. And then I wanted a better way to carry my small stuff, like my needles and my scissors and just the smaller loose items, like when I go to my stitch days or when I go to retreats. So this is from Fat Quarter Shop, and some of you may have seen this case. This is a newer item that was advertised. So if you open it, they also have it in pink. So when you open it, this is the bottom part where you can put in needles and scissors, and then up here it has you've got felt that also you can pull down. So the felt's where you could stick loose needles and things like that, or stick needle minders on there. And then there's a little cloth tab here. So if I pull it, then pull it down, and you've got another side of felt, and then you've got this little casing where you can stick packs of things in there and floss and all of that stuff. So I really liked it, and I thought it's not big, but it's just big enough where it carries your small things where you can just slide this into your bag and things don't, you know, aren't loose. They're in one spot. So I did get that. So now I just have to remember to transfer my stuff from the raggedy little thing I had that I was carrying around. Okay, so I do have the September, let's see, July, no, yes. So I'll make up my mind in a minute. I do have the September Stitch Quarterly. I will reveal that to you. So I always put those in the timestamps there. So if you do get the Stitch Quarterly and you don't want it revealed to you, you haven't really had a chance to look at it yet, then you can bypass that. Okay, now I decided one of the things that I want to do, I've always been fascinated with sugar skulls. So sugar skull is the Mexican tradition. It's a way for them to honor their dead. And it, you know, it's not a spooky thing or anything, but it's how they honor their dead, kind of like Day of the Dead. So I told myself I was going to look it up and actually really read on Mexican sugar skulls. So I do want to go and actually read on it. So I'm not going to say a whole lot because I don't know enough to say a whole lot, but I've always been fascinated with them. So I ended up, I was going to get one project bag with sugar skulls because I'm going to stitch a sugar skull and I'll show you that one in my whip pile. But I ended up with two, and now I don't remember how I managed to do that, but it's pretty cool. This one, and I will put the name of the Etsy shop on the screen. This is called Cats Out of the Bag. This is the bag that she has made. She also is from Canada. So Cats Out of the Bag. So, and there's the back. And then here's the, she's got a little hook there on the side. And here is the zipper pull, which is really pretty. This sucker's big, so I'm gonna open it and it unzips very nicely. And so when you open it, it looks like this. Okay, not very nicely lined. It's very well made, and it's just huge. This is a big bag. It's deep. The bottom comes out like this. So it's a, what's it called? Gusseted, maybe, bottom. And also included with the same material is this little bag. It has the same lining in it. I think I paid $55 for the set. It is so well made though. So you can put your needles and little items in here where they don't get lost in your bag, and throw it in your bag, zip it up, and you are ready to go. And it's got all these sugar skulls on it. So it is so well made. So I just wanted to show that to you. It is very, very nice. Very nice. Now, the other one, which I'm going to start showing you my whips now. This one is FabShabbyRose. So let me get my stuff out and then I'll show you the bag. Let's see. Get that out and that. Okay. So let me show you the card first. This is Bags by FabShabbyRose. And this is on Etsy. Let's see, her card says, beautiful things come together one stitch at a time. Carolyn Petrie. Okay, so let me get my, okay, it's like, where'd it go? Okay, just so you can see it. Okay, there's her card. And then if you flip it over, here's the other side. And she also included a little piece of candy in there and a little bag and, you know, little, it's just, she had it wrapped so nicely. You could tell that there was a lot of care put into packaging that. And this is a high quality bag. So zip it up. Here's the front. This is another sugar skull bag. So this is the front with the vinyl on it. And then here's the back. And she's got her little tag on the side. And here's the zipper pull. This is a really nice zipper. So there's the pull, and it's a very good zipper. And it is nice, thick quilting. So this is a sturdy bag. And she also includes the POW. This is the POW that goes with it, with the snap, and then she puts that in the middle to hold your needles and to put your orts. There's the other side of it, same material as the bag. This is very nicely quilt, nice thick quilt batting in there, and just very well made. Trying to remember how much this was. I think it was 35 or 40, which is about the running price of a lot of project bags now. So no more than other bags are. I still love my Dot Dot Goose, love her bags, but this is definitely another shop that if you want project bags and you're not really a sewer yourself, I would definitely check out the FabShabbyRose. And so I will have her Etsy market, or her Etsy shop, as well as the other one linked below. Now the other one, which is Cats Out of the Bag, she said that she's basically suspended her shop right now because the Canadian postal workers are on strike. And so she has indefinitely suspended her shop until they can get that straightened out. And so there's that. And then I will give the address also for FabShabbyRose and her Etsy shop. Okay. Now, speaking of this bag, which actually I need to keep out for just a minute, I decided, by golly, I'm doing a sugar skull. I've wanted to do a sugar skull for a long time. Now, I am very leery of getting patterns off of Etsy. You just want to be careful with that, because a lot of times people will go on there and they'll make a temporary shop, and they'll run pictures through some kind of crappy photo conversion program that's just not good at all, never been stitched, never tried it out, and they slap them up on the shop, and you might pay, $3 for a pattern, and then think, oh, that's cheap, and then people buy a bunch of patterns, and these shops make a lot of money, and then like Etsy will, figure it out, and they'll take them off, and then they will, get rid of that shop, and they'll go back and regroup and go again. So I'm very leery, but this one got a lot of good reviews, so I decided to go ahead and try it. This is by DigiGuard. I won't buy a lot of patterns off of Etsy. I'd rather go to like really established, reputable shops. But I did get this one. I thought it was really cool, and it looks good. It doesn't look like some of them with, you see like blurry edges on the patterns, and it's kind of like, I don't know. So I think this one will be okay. So here's what it looks like. It's me. I'm crazy. Sorry, I'm having to drink a lot. My stupid nose and my throat. But here is my sugar skull that I'm doing, and I like it because it's got the big flower in the middle, and of course the flower eyes, and so pretty cool. And I haven't gotten very far, but y'all, if you've been with me for any amount of time, you know that I have not stitched 40 count. My eyes would not let me do 36 for a long time. And then I got my Halo Go Light and magnifier, and I was able to do 36 comfortably. I was so excited. So I thought, well, okay. Well, no, it was the Stitching Owl. Yes, it was the Stitching Owl. She's another Canadian floss tuber, and she is lovely. And if you haven't checked her out, you need to go check her out. She has some of the most beautiful pieces I have seen, and she stitches a lot, and she's got a lot of stuff going on, but they're so pretty. And she just takes her time telling you about her pieces and the progress. And then at the end, she plays a piece from her piano, because she plays piano. And it's just beautiful. So if you haven't checked her out, I think I've already done a shout out with her, but you need to go check her out. So I have her name below too. But these are my colors for my sugar skull, my Mexico sugar skull, all DMC. Now, as I was saying about the Stitching Owl, she's the one who told me that if I try 40 count, I should do 40 count Verdal. I guess because Verdal is soft, and you can probably see the holes a little bit better. And I thought, okay, I'll try it. So I ordered some from Bestitch Me, and I'm trying, let's see, where is it? It is vintage 40 count Verdal from Bestitch Me. Where's my board? I keep losing my board. Okay, so there it is, vintage 40 count. So I was at the E-Town Stitch Day and decided to try it. I have stitched on 40 count. I was able to do it with my Halo Go Light. Now, I will say that it was still a little bit of a struggle. So I don't know that 40 count's going to become a regular, but I don't know. I'll have to stitch on it a little bit more, and then I can keep you updated. But I was so excited. And then somebody, before I could even tell everybody, hey, I'm stitching on 40 count, somebody down from me, like 2 or 3 seats down, said just casually, yeah, well, I decided I was going to do it on a 56, and I was deflated. I thought, you say you're going to do something on 56 like somebody else might do it on a 28 or 14 Ada. Oh my gosh. So anyway, it did burst my bubble just a little bit, but by golly, I'm stitching on 40 count. I'm so excited. And it's right in the middle here where it's going to be kind of hard to show you, but I got just a little bit of, all I had time to do was I just started on the top. My eyes were getting a little bit tired just doing that little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. I will try again, and maybe I can stitch for a little bit longer. But here it is. Oh, I got a little bit of white done too. So there it is. That is 40 count. 40 count, y'all. I'm so excited. It's not, the color is not, let's see. It's almost like the color's vintage, but it's almost like an orangey kind of color, even though it's very light. So you can see here, but it's a very light color, but 40 count, look at my stitches. I'm so excited. So you're happy for me, aren't you? Because I stitched on 40 count. Now, if you like Ada, and that's what you're most comfortable stitching on, don't ever let anybody shame you because you're stitching on Ada, because I still see some of that occasionally online where people are like, yeah, I'm not stitching on Ada. They refer to it as that's being for beginners. Well, I got news for them. I still stitch on Ada. In fact, my full coverage pieces aren't on anything but Ada. So there. But yes, I have found that I like, if I'm going to do even weave or linen, I do tend to like the look of even weave a little bit better than linen. Now, if I'm going to do a true sampler or something, then I may decide to go with linen, and I can stitch on linen. Linen's not an issue. Like the slubs, that's not an issue. But I don't know. I just like the look of even weave a little bit better, so I tend to go with that. But there's my sugar skull, so we'll see how I continue to progress with that. Okay, so let's see. Let me put this over here. Okay, now this one is my Lincoln piece. I didn't show this last time because I wanted to get a little more progress, and it's going to look like I haven't made any progress, but I definitely have. And I found a way to, I've done this program. Let's see, which program did I use with this? Okay, this one is done with my Pattern Maker for Cross Stitch CD-ROM. And I couldn't for the longest time figure out how to make the pattern larger, because that was part of the issue. It needed to be, like the symbols needed to be larger. So I finally started clicking on some different buttons and figured it out. Now, of course, it made it have many more pages. So it's got like 36 pages to this pattern, something like that. So I thought, okay, just print out the pages for the whole top row and do those, and then go to the next set. And that way my ink wasn't going to run out and I was able to handle it a little bit better. So this is one of my full coverage pieces. This is going to take me a long time. This is a long project. That's why I've got these other projects to work on. But this is a combination. I took a bunch of pictures with Lincoln, made a collage. There's a collage maker online and you can use and make collages. And ran that through the program and came up with this cross stitch pattern. So it's a combination of color and sepia prints, and one's more of a couple are more black and white, but there's a couple of sepia prints and then color. And yes, everything you see here is going to be stitched. So there it is. Everything you see here is going to be stitched. The frame, everything. I am starting here. So I am in this corner of the background with Mary Todd. Once I get to her face, that's where the excitement will start, okay? So I haven't gotten to her face yet, but I'm up in this corner. I'm doing this on an 18 count white Ada, okay? For all the naysayers out there, it's Ada. But this is where I am. Right there. So you're like, yeah, that doesn't look like a whole lot. But when we're talking full coverage, remember, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. And so you just go at it. And I started in the corner and I'm doing diagonal squares to kind of break it up a little bit. But it's working out well. So I feel pretty pleased with my progress. And this is a whole bunch of hours right here. Whole bunch of hours. Okay, so that's one. I've got two full coverage pieces that I am currently working on. So that's one. So I'm going to put this back in the bag so that it doesn't get all messed up. And I've got a whole big bunch of colors that I'm leaving in the living room. They're all of it's DMC. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Oops, let me put my list of colors in there. I don't want to lose that. Let's see. I thought I counted how many colors I had. It's 100 and something. So, yeah. It's got a little portion there. Okay, leave you there. This is my other one. Here's my Buster piece. So I'm doing a piece with Buster Keaton. If you're not familiar with Buster Keaton, he was a silent movie actor, and he is my favorite. And he was actually a mentor for Lucille Ball, who's my favorite actress. Go figure. So I have restarted him 3 times. So this is it. 3rd time better be the charm. First time, I think it was the fabric that was the issue. And the 2nd time, I think the pattern didn't print out well. I mean, it was just, ugh. So now I have 16 count Zweigart Aida. So hopefully that will be fine. I figured out a way to get this to print out larger as well. So, and this one doesn't have as many colors. This one has 44 colors, so it's not as bad. But it's black and white, which means that you're going to have a lot of blacks and whites and grays and a little bit of brown and all of that. But here he is with Brown Eyes the cow. This is a still shot from the movie Go West, which was 1925. So this is the 100th anniversary of Go West. It would be cool if I could finish it this year, but ain't gonna happen. Not gonna happen. But I dearly love this picture, and it is one of my favorite movies of his, because Buster and a cow, come on. So this, and I will show you, because I printed that. This is, I think I did this program. Let's see, which one is this one? This one I used PC Stitch. So I also have PC Stitch, and I used that one. But I'll just show you this because it's my pattern. But that shows you how large the pattern is. So that's a lot easier for me to see. So it's been very pleasant to stitch on. You can actually, you can see his hat here, part of his hat. So we'll see how it goes. I'll show you where I am. Since I restarted just the other night, yeah, you can see I'm not happy. Not a happy girl. But restarted it. I think this is going to end up being an 18 by 19, which is kind of what my Lincoln piece is going to be. It's going to be the same size. But that's it. That's all I got. So we're starting over, but I'm going to work on him for several more hours in the next few days and get some more done before I put him away. But this one and my Lincoln one are two that I have put into my focus pieces. And so that way, like, I'll work on one of these other pieces for a few hours, and then I'll go to one of these focus pieces and work on that for a few hours. And then I'll go to a different piece and work on it for a few hours, then come back to my focus piece. And that's been the rotation that I've come up with. And so far, I've enjoyed it. It's worked very well, and I'm touching these pieces more. And so it's working for me. So that's pretty good. Actually, let me put all these back over here so they're out of my way. So I can show you, oops, he's got to have his colors. These are all the gray. There's some purple in there, but mainly grays and blacks and whites. So it sounds like it would be a very boring drab piece to do, and I'm sure it would be for some people, because I love him. I'm really enjoying it. Okay, now I have wanted to start, like, I need more pieces to start, but you know, I think I'm up to maybe 20, 25. Well, I will have 25 whips going. So it's really not that bad when you think that there are people out there who have over 100. So not too bad. So I have wanted to start Farmhouse Christmas by Little House Needleworks for so long. I see people working on that piece, or I've seen it done. I've seen Fat Quarter Shop show it, and I'm just like, oh, it's so pretty. It is so, so pretty. I love it. So if you're not familiar with Farmhouse Christmas, let's see, Little House Needleworks, and then there's Country Cottage Needleworks. So the lady who is it? The lady who's the designer for Little House Needleworks is the mother to the lady who's the designer for Country Cottage Needleworks. I believe that's correct. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the Little House one is the mother to the Country Cottage one. And both of them like to do patterns. They do separate, like standalone patterns, but they also do ones that are in a series. And I like that because you can, if you like just certain little patterns from the series, you can just buy the little pattern, or you can buy all of them and put the whole thing together. You can also buy all of them, put the whole thing together, and then pull out certain pieces to be like little companion pieces to the large piece, like a pillow or something like that. So Farmhouse Christmas is one of those. There are 9 patterns, 9 small patterns that go with Farmhouse Christmas. And she, on her site, and I'll show you this pattern because that's all I've got, but there is a border that goes around the 9 pieces. I have seen it stitched both with and without the border. I like the border. So you can print this for free from her website. I would suggest, if you want to do this, don't get it from someone else. Actually get it from her website and just download it and print it. I just think that's the nicer way to do that. But excuse me, this is one part of the border. I won't show you the whole thing, but just that starts the top corner. So that goes all the way around. Okay, so there's the border. And so I'm going to show you each of the pieces. So this is part 1, and they're all just so intricate. They have all these little details. I love it. Let's see if I can do it without taking it out of the package. Okay, so there's the first one. It's part 1. And this is called Little Red Barn. Okay, so that's the first one. And part 2 is called Horsing Around. Part 3 is Grandpa's Pickup. I just think these individual patterns are just adorable. I love them. It's nostalgic, you know, and I think it's nostalgic for everybody. It's let's see, part 4 is Dairy Darling. This one's got a cow. If you hear any sounds, I don't know if you'll hear that or not, but my husband is working on some jewelry and stuff in the basement because he likes to make jewelry and he sells them at local craft fairs and stuff. So it's his little side thing. He's not like a full-blown salesman, but he just enjoys doing that on the side. So anyway, if you hear stuff, that's him. Okay, part 5 is Grandma's Quilt. Part 6 is Pinewood Farm. Part 7 is Cock-a-doodle-doo. Part 8 is Farm Folk. And part 9 is Baba Black Sheep. So cute. So I'm thinking of, and I think she used 30 count portobello, natural linen. But I am going to do it on even weave. I'm really thinking about using Vintage Country Mocha because we all know Vintage Country Mocha goes with everything. It is a little darker than what she stitched on. And just as a reminder, if you're not familiar enough with Vintage Country Mocha, it's a beautiful fabric. I love the color of it. So this is Vintage Country Mocha. Now, what I'm going to have to do is, I haven't ordered the colors for this yet. So when I order the colors, then I will do a floss toss on this just to see how I like it. Because one of the things, it's stitched, some people stitch it on a very light fabric and then the white doesn't show up very well. I'm thinking of using, it calls for, some of these are Classic Color Works. So it calls for like bamboo, which you could do white, but I'm almost thinking for the white that I really want that white to stand out. We'll see. I'm thinking about B5200 maybe for that, or 3865, but yeah, I just love this fabric. And it does go with a lot of things, like if you're doing samplers, lamb's wool Jobelin and vintage country mocha are great neutrals. I think they're great neutrals to use, especially lamb's wool is a really great neutral to use. So anyway, all I have to do is order the colors for this, because I don't collect classic color works. And so these are, I mean, they have DMC alternatives, but honestly, I think I want to do the classic color works on these. Just my gut tells me that would be a better choice for me to do. Okay, now we're going to go back to the Witchy Stitcher. Okay, so when I was little, so I'm going to tell you a story here. I'm going to pull a Joshua and tell you a story. So when I was little, and I'm going to see if I can pull a picture to show you me when I was little. For my birthday, and I might have been maybe 2 or 3 years old, maybe, if that old. My mother made a birthday cake, and she put little pieces of candy corn on there. And she watched me to make sure I didn't eat very much, but when I would look at things, I would just barely touch stuff. Mom would get tickled because my brother would just grab stuff. And with me, I would touch it first. I think I was nervous about what it might do. I don't know. But I would pick the little candy corn pieces off the cake. Wouldn't eat the cake, but would eat the pieces of candy corn off of there. So as I was growing up, I loved candy corn. Just loved it. And you can't eat very much of that stuff because it's so, I mean, it's nothing but sugar and corn syrup. That's all it is. But, you know, and either with candy corn, you either like candy corn or you don't. I don't know that there's really in between. I've never heard someone say, it's okay. Either they love it or they don't. Well, I still like it, but I only want maybe 2 or 3 pieces and then I'm done because it is just so sweet. And that's saying a lot for me because I love sweet stuff. But I found this and I thought, what a great Halloween piece for me. This is called Candy Corn Zombies by the Witchy Stitcher. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And the candy corn's got a piece eaten out of it. Candy. Now, when I was at the Silver Needle in Tulsa, Oklahoma several years ago, I bought some 28 count, and this is called Candy Corn Stripe. Oh, man. I thought, I have to use this. I have to use this. So here's, let's see. It goes, how does it go? Okay, so there it is. My candy corn stripe. I love it. Okay, so the orange is in the middle. So here's your candy corn right here. So I'm going to have to really plan the placement of the pattern on here. But oh my gosh, isn't this, I mean, this is perfect. This is from Fabric Flair. I love Fabric Flair, and this is awesome, and it's going to be perfect. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So that's going to be one of my new starts. I haven't started it yet, but oh boy, I got the colors. I got the colors. We're ready. We are ready to rock and roll. That might be a nice new start. Ooh, I will start it next weekend is the first weekend in October. So this is probably a good time for me to talk to you about the stitch along that I want to do for the month of October. So let's stop and talk about that for a minute. So my birthday is in October, And as you all know, if you have been with me for any time, and if you have looked at my walls of my craft room for any time, you have figured out, or you know, that my favorite color is purple. So everything purple, love it. So what I want to do is have a birthday sal. And for this birthday sal, if you will join me, it's very simple. I would like for you at some point during the month of October to stitch with something purple. You can stitch on purple fabric. It doesn't matter what shade it is, if it's lilac or if it's a deep dark purple, doesn't matter. So stitch on some kind of purple fabric, or use purple floss. Or if you have any tools, like if you have a pair of scissors you use that have purple handles or anything like that. I mean, anything purple related that you use to cross stitch. If you will just, if you do that, and then like for this video, leave a comment to let me know what you've been stitching on with purple. Or you can go to Instagram and you can tag me, because I'm a Crazy Stitch Lady over on Instagram. My Instagram will be listed in the comments, or not the comment section, but the description down below. So you can go and you can tag me in, if you use Instagram, you can tag me in your Instagram post if you are posting a picture of something that you've done that's purple. Just anything purple, just to help me celebrate my birthday on this birthday sal. So I just thought, and I will tell you that I got this birthday sal idea from Kenny Stitches. He's in one of our Facebook stitching groups, and so go check him out. His channel is called Kenny Stitches, and he just finished up an August birthday sal. And so we are going to, was August or September, it's one of those 2 months, but he just finished up his sal. He did a birthday sal, and that gave me the idea. So sorry, Kenny, I forgot which month it was. But I decided, well, I'll do a birthday sal too. And he made it really simple too. So I'm going to make my birthday sal very simple. So if you want, if it's easy to comment on this video, if you don't have Instagram, you can do that. Or on, if you do have Instagram, you can tag me on there. So, or just participate. You don't even have to tell me if you just want to participate. And if you've already got something purple you're working on, awesome. That would be so awesome. I would love that. Okay, let's see where I'm going to put this. All right, so, well, let's put it over here. Okay, and then the last one that I am going to start, I got to make sure I have colors for it. This is another one from the Witchy Stitcher. I bought several from her. I thought, I just got on this goth kick, so I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. I kept going back to this because I think it's so funny. I love it. This is called Live, you know, well, okay, let me back up. So you know that you see all these tin signs and cards, all these things that say live, laugh, love. Well, this one is live, laugh, lobotomy. I love it. And it's got the skull on it. And so I've got some chalkboard black Witchy Ada. It's large enough. So I am going to start this one. This may be my Halloween start. So I may start that one. So I'm excited. I'm ready to have some fun with it. Okay, we're at 1 hour already, over an hour. If you're still hanging in there with me, awesome. Okay, so we're going to do the Stitch Quarterly September reveal. So if you don't want to see it, you can skip over it to the very end. This is the last thing I'm doing before I do my crazy craft tip, which I don't even know what I'm doing right now. So let me do the Stitch Quarterly reveal. And usually I have that planned out, and I just did not. Well, I've got my tablet that I use here, but anyway, so let's do Stitch Quarterly. All right, here we go. All right, so here's the bag. And at first I didn't like these bigger bags, but now I do because there's plenty of room for the stuff in there, and it's got this gusseted bottom that comes out where it can sit up on its own, which is really cool. All right, now they usually go with a seasonal theme, and so this one is a fall theme, and a lot of times with this is a Stitch Quarterly from Fat Quarter Shop, and they give you. They give you everything that you need to start. They give you needle, floss, pattern, fabric, and they also give you some kind of like a little notion. So the pattern for this month is called Foxtrot. And here it is. So this is a cute pattern, little fox. Okay, so with Foxtrot, this is the finished size, like if you do it on 14 count, is an 8x8. And they are DMCs. So there are, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 colors to it. And so they also, when they give you a coupon to get, but it's a coupon with an order. So you have to order, like this is a $30 plus purchase. They have a small Stitch Love Maker bucket. Now I haven't seen this bucket. I haven't been on there to see lately, but if some of you have watched the latest Fat Quarter Shop floss tubes, you may have seen it. I have not kept up. I'm trying to get caught up, but I'm not caught up yet. So they'll give you something like that. And they give you a needle minder. And they are always so stinking cute. Look at that needle minder. They are strong too. These are like the best needle minders ever. So with that, they always give you a John James size 26 needle. And so here's the needle in there with the floss. Look at those pretty colors. Very pretty colors. And this, they usually give you Ada, but not always. But this is Ada. It's a 14 count. This is Color of Wheat, and this is from Fiber on a Whim. So they go with different companies, but this is a really, let's see. Let me see if I can put it on the board. Let's take it out. Let's take it out. Okay. That is pretty. This reminds me of Vintage Country Mocha. Doesn't that remind you of Vintage Country Mocha? Quite a bit. It's very close. But I don't think I've ever stitched with fiber on a Whim. So we will see what I think about that. So you got to stay in the baggie for right now. And then you always, you get this little thing, which is the cross stitch subscription. This just tells you what you get in there. Now, the notion, sometimes you'll get like a little lotion or something, like if they have new things coming out, you'll get one. Lori Holt apparently has a magnet, you know, those magnetic boards, like the 8x10 magnetic boards you can use. You put your pattern on there and you can stick the needles. Well, Lori Holt has come out with her own version of she calls it these cloud, she loves the color cloud, stitchy board. And it's very pretty. So I'll show you. There's a picture of it right there. Now the only, and I'll say now I like Lori Holt, but the edges are very pretty. I do like it. I will have to check out let me check out what the price is typically on this, because I've been buying some other 8x10 boards, and they've made them, a different companies making them, not Loran, it's not making them anymore, but they're heavy, because I smashed my pinky toe with one the other day and it turned purple, so that was not good. Okay, so this is, I've got to take my glasses off so I can see. Okay, this value is $11.48. Okay, so it's got cute trim on it. It's not, now don't get me wrong, I love Lori Holt, I'm not bashing her. But some of her things, like the library cards and stuff, I mean, you can get cheaper versions of it elsewhere, and they're just as good. They're not cheaper. They're not cheaply made. They're just cheaper in price because they don't have Lori Holt's name on it. You know how that goes. So you can buy a plain stitch board without the scallops. I'll have to check the price. I don't know if it's that much cheaper than her board. If it's not that much cheaper and you really like the scallops, it's awesome. But I've been wanting another board anyway, and this came with my Stitch Quarterly, so that's fantastic. But you know, if the others are cheaper, you know, I don't need the scallops on the edges, although it's neat. But you know, that's just where you have to decide if you really want something that's much prettier and that's going to make your experience more enjoyable, then by all means get it. So I know with her, she said she wants to be surrounded by beautiful things. If she's going to do that stuff, it needs to be pretty. And I totally get that. So there are certain things where I'm like, if it's my hobby, I just want it to be pretty. I want to be surrounded by pretty things. Or, you know, if you're more practical, maybe you want it to be surrounded by practical things and you just want to make sure that you're not spending, you know, $50,000 on this stuff. So anyway, but that's the Stitch Quarterly for September. Okay, now I think I typically plan my craft tips, and for some reason, I don't know. Hold on, let me pause it one more time and see if I can find my little sheet. No, I can't find it. I'm not sure what I've done with it. But anyway, one of the things, and this will be my craft tip, my crazy craft tip. So if you're new here, at the end of each episode, like a lot of FlossTubers have a little shtick that they have. So my beginning, I always try to do a shout out, and at the end I do a craft tip. Well, my crazy craft tip for today is have a sense of humor. And you may be thinking, okay, what does that have to do with cross stitch? Well, just like with my Buster piece and starting it for the third time, I had to frog some as it was last night with the beginning of the third one because I had miscounted one row, and then come to find out I had actually miscounted by one stitch, miscounted 2 rows, and it threw everything off. So I ended up frogging the same area twice. And at that point, you typically want to do some screaming, but you have to have some humor about it. And remember, this is a hobby. This is a hobby. Don't take yourself so seriously, and don't take it so seriously. So usually with a piece, whether it's full coverage or not, there may be some mistakes in there. Most people, it's not worth frogging it because you're not going to see it. And sometimes it's hard to find it anyway. You know you're off by one. Sometimes you can fudge it a little bit and nobody's going to know except you. And then you may forget after a while when you get, you know, old and gray, you may not even remember. So is it worth losing your peace of mind over that? No, it's not. If you get really frustrated with something to the point where you can't have some humor about it and kind of laugh it off, walk away, put it away, put it in timeout, and go get something that's going to give you some joy and peace and make you laugh at the cute little animals that you might be stitching, or just the enjoyment that you get from your stitching, and you just find something humorous about it. You made a mistake and find something humorous about it. So, you know, we have to be able to laugh. You know, laughing is good for the soul. So just want you to keep that in mind as you're moving forward with this awesome hobby. Now, before I leave, I do want to let you know that I had a few requests for tutorials. So the last one I did on the conversion programs to convert photos into cross stitch. I have also had a request for how do you stitch with metallic thread. And I know there are tutorials out there, but I'm going to give you my version of how to stitch with metallic thread because we all need some pretties in our lives. And I do have a piece that I'm doing with King Charles. I haven't touched it in a while, getting ready to, but that has some metallic in it. So we're going to talk about how you stitch with that and the best way to do that without going insane and being able to laugh about it. I also have had a request to do not a whip parade, but they want a stash parade. And so I thought, well, okay, I might do it in a few parts, but I would be very happy to do a stash parade with you all if you would like to see the pieces I have, and maybe you find something in there that you decide you would like to have for yourself. So I will just take you to my store and and do a stash parade. So those will be some tutorials going down the line. All right, so with that, we are at the 1 hour 15 mark, which it's a little bit longer than my videos normally are, but what the hey, we had a lot of stuff to talk about and cover. So with that being said, be creative, be blessed, and I will see you later.